Fast-paced first-person shooters may be a dime a dozen these days, but Angerfoot has a unique gameplay hook that is literally kicking down the door for your attention. This colourful and completely chaotic shooter from the makers of Broforce is like a first-person take on the compelling room-clearing carnage of Hotline Miami, with an emphasis on using your left foot of fury to violently smash a path through locked doors, obstacles, and gangs of anthropomorphic animal enemies. It's a shoot and boot 'em up that feels like John Wick with some extra kick, and I enjoyed the 2 hours I spent playing an early build of Angerfoot every skull-stomping step of the way. There are guns too, of course, but the pistol in your hand is merely a support act to the size 12 snuffer of life at the end of your left leg. There's no ammunition to pick up and reload. Instead, once you've run out of rounds to chamber, you just throw your empty gun at an enemy to stun them, jump kick them into next week, and catch their freshly dropped Uzi or shotgun before carrying on your merry, murderous way. Enemies can be booted directly into their friends behind them like dim-witted dominoes, and there's never any shortage of explosive gas canisters or oil barrels to be found in each gang den you crash through, allowing for spectacular chain reaction kills, or your own instant death should you accidentally shoot or kick them at close quarters. In fact, I've died a lot during the 24 levels I've played so far, since you're every bit as vulnerable to one-shotted deaths as the enemies around you. A continually shuffling roster of enemy types and combinations meant that Angerfoot consistently kept me on my anger toes, forcing me to find new strategies to most efficiently deal with each new threat. When riot gear-clad birds arrived, I started firing off a round to make them reflexively raise their shields, so that I could run in and boot their bulletproof barriers straight back into their beaks. Meanwhile, I was delighted to find that the grenades thrown by puffer jacket-clad goons could be volleyed back at them with a well-timed kick, forcing them to watch their own bomb blow up in their faces like they were the producers of the Madam Web movie.
Bad dream?
It's not a dream.
Surviving all the way to each level exit earns you a star, but there are a further 2 stars to claim per level for optional challenges such as completing a level within a stricter time limit, or killing a certain number of enemies using only kicks. Some of these additional objectives seem seriously challenging, and although each level only takes a couple of minutes to complete, I can see myself spending hours trying to earn all the stars in the finished game. Although I don't know how I'm supposed to beat a level in under 30 seconds, when I keep getting distracted by the Broforce arcade machines found along the way. Look, it's Endless Rambro. The more stars you earn, the more special shoes you can unlock and lace up, with each pair of kicks granting you a unique gameplay buff, not unlike the animal masks from Hotline Miami. You might strap on a pair of high tops that earn you a precious round of ammo for every bad guy you boot in the face, or slip into a pair of sneakers that activates a big head mode to make it easier to headshot enemies from long range. I also found footwear that could charge up kicks into room-clearing dash attacks, as well as another pair that let me come back from the dead once per level. Now that's what I call a soul revival. Sorry. I also unlocked a slightly embarrassing pair of socks with sandals that allowed me to deal extra damage during boss fights. Although this did mean that I was able to easily stomp out Angerfoot's first major boss like it was a house spider under a work boot. Given how tricky the levels that preceded it were, including one against an unseen sniper that instantly snuffed out my sprints between cover, it seemed slightly disappointing to dispatch the leader of the violence gang with a mere handful of half-hearted high kicks. Hopefully there'll be some heavier head honchos to contend with in the 3 other gangs to take down in Angerfoot. Namely the pollution gang found in the sewers, the business gang found in the high-rises, and the debauchery gang found in, I don't know, one of P. Diddy's mansions maybe?
Hey, how you doing? Puffy? Or Diddy? P. Papa Diddy Pop? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're calling yourself these days.
Basic boss fights aside, Angerfoot's evolving combat and cartoonish charm kept a goofy grin on my face during my playtime, and its rousing bass-heavy techno groove had me tapping my toes while I was capping my foes. From rooftop shootouts with heavily armed gangbangers, to subterranean stoushes with snakes and giant squid tentacles in the sewers below. It remains to be seen if the instantly gratifying action of Anger Foot will have the anger legs to go the distance in the finished game, but based on what I've played so far, it seems like this is one frantic first-person shooter that's truly putting its best foot forward. For more IGN previews, check out our hands-on impressions with Frostpunk 2 and The Alters. And for everything else, kick with IGN.